Hi Poco fans, and instead of Mancho giving the intro, I'm going to give the intro this time. And instead of me answering those questions, Mancho is answering this one. So this is a very special episode of Poco AMA. This is probably the final time that Mancho will be with us, and hence we are not calling it Ask Me Anything, it's Ask Mancho Anything. And you guys have sent a lot of questions. Again, Mancho needs to get to other things. We've taken a lot of questions. I don't know if we'll be able to finish it at one sitting, but we'll obviously try and answer this. Or not we, Mancho will try and answer this.
Sure.
And I'm also really thankful to a couple of people, some celebrities who've also sent in their questions. So maybe we'll start with the first question that's coming in from our friend Mukul. And for that, Mukul has a video. Let's play the video.
So guys, whenever we talk about Poco, the first name which comes to my mind has always been Mr. C. Manmohan. I got to know that Manmohan is about to leave Poco, and this is something which I'm not too big a fan of. But I'm pretty sure, Manmohan, whatever you do in life, wherever you go in life, you are always going to stay awesome AF. The last time we had a discussion, I remember I interviewed you and I asked you a lot of questions regarding Poco, Poco's upcoming smartphones, Poco's future plans, Poco team and whatnot. And today also I have a bunch of questions for you, and my first question will be as to how your journey been so far with Poco. My second question is, okay, Manmohan, you must be having a lot of memories while working with Poco, but which memory has been the fondest memory of your life while working with Poco? That's my second question. The third question is a bit tricky one, and see, Poco has launched a lot of smartphones in the past, and the stuff listings army, and a lot of people like Poco smartphones. I personally love Poco smartphones, but my question is, which Poco smartphone does C. Manmohan like the most? That's my third question. The fourth question is very important, and I personally want to know it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to know it, as to what your future plans are. I remember when you announced that you were about to leave Poco, a lot of people were sad about it, including me, but we were also curious to know as to what you are going to do now. See, Poco is awesome with you, and I'm pretty sure that whatever you do in your future, you will make it awesome too. But still, if you could share your future plans with us, that will be ultra amazing. And the last question which I have, it's not just my question. I believe it's the entire Stuff Listings Army's question, and I'm pretty sure you already know the question, but still I'm going to ask you this question. When is Poco F2 launching? Please ये हमें बता दो. हम सालों साल से वेट करते आ रहे हैं इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर आपसे निकालने के लिए. If you could tell me as to when Poco F2 would launch, इससे अच्छा और कुछ नहीं होगा. सो मनमोहन, ये थे मेरे 5 क्वेश्चंस. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर आप इनके आंसर्स देंगे. और बिफोर एंडिंग दिस वीडियो, आई वुड लाइक टू विश यू ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट. कीप इन टच. आई होप कि हम आगे भी बात करते रहें, और आई सीरियसली वांट टू मीट यू ASAP. गॉड ब्लेस यू.
First of all, thank you so much. This journey has been extremely amazing. I still remember a lot of moments during my journey at Poco. So first of all, thank you so much, Mukul, for asking so lovely questions. Let me start with the fondest memory I have about Poco. The first thing that always I remember will be the launch of Poco F1. That was my first ever launch event. And I still remember that I was the one who was actually revealing the price drop, and that was a goosebump moment for me. It was so beautiful. The entire energy in the room, the people's reaction is something which I'll probably never ever forget in my life. Poco F1 has been a legendary device just because of the product it was, but also it was extremely important for me that it kind of gave me a podium to express myself and to tell to the world who I was. So it's been an amazing point of my life. Regarding what is my favorite smartphone in Poco, there's no one favorite smartphone, to be honest. Maybe there are different categories, I will say. In terms of, maybe let me just call out these categories, right? In terms of design, I love Poco M2 Pro the most. Okay. That's probably the most beautifully designed Poco phone. In terms of performance, I still love Poco F1.
Will F1 be faster or X3 be faster?
I think it will still be neck to neck. The reason why I like Poco F1 more as a phone is just because it has that everything you need, nothing you don't philosophy, even more stronger. Probably that's why I'll kind of think about Poco F1 as my favorite phone. But yeah, those are the two phones which I can definitely mention right now. Going forward, the other questions.
So
Sorry.
related to that, I guess one was, if you liked F1 so much, when is F2 coming? And what are you gonna do after Poco?
Sure. After Poco, currently I'm going to be, trying to do something of my own. I mean, I'll kind of, reveal it at the right moment and the time, but like right now it's under wraps. But yeah, let's see how that life is going to turn out to be. Next, where is Poco F2 launching? Now that's a $1 million question. It's always been one of the most asked question from the get-go. Yeah, we are actually working on the Poco F series right now as the Poco team, and Anuj at the right time will kind of explain more about how we are thinking about the Poco F series.
Okay. Let's move on to a couple of more questions.
Sure.
So first question is from John T.
Okay.
This is a very interesting one. Was Redmi K20 series earlier planned as Poco series but didn't launch under the Poco umbrella because it has Poco launcher by default?
Okay.
And the second one is, any news on the new Poco launcher update with the animations and...
Oh, okay. Sure. The first one was a very, very interesting observation. I mean, like I honestly never ever even thought in that direction. But no, I mean, it's definitely a no. It was always a Redmi phone to begin
I'll
with.
probably talk because I was launching
The phone, right? Yeah.
at that time. So when we were looking at the Redmi K20 and the K20 Pro, because these were premium devices, the whole idea at that point was, how do you give a better or a more premium experience? And when looking at all the options that are available, whether it is plain Android, whether it was the MIUI edition that was there, and whether it was using the Poco launcher had the best feedback that was coming in from the beta testers, and hence we went with it. And it was fine because in 2019, Poco was still a sub-series of the Xiaomi brand.
Yeah.
So it just made sense to kind of share all the resources, have the best of everything come together.
True.
And the Poco launcher
update. So Poco launcher update. See, we have been constantly updating Poco launcher basis the feedback that we have been getting. We are getting a lot of inputs as to what are the new things that we can add on Poco launcher. We'll keep you posted as to how exactly what kind of inputs are making sense, and we'll in the right time we will kind of bring in new features to that.
Next question is from Amey. Thank you for giving 120 frames per second gaming experience. That's amazing. I love this feature.
Okay.
Question. So he has two questions. One was about the Poco launcher again.
Sure.
The second one is Android 11 update on the Poco X2.
Android 11 update, that was something which we already promised, right? During our Poco launch itself, we did mention that, Android 10 was already there and the next Android 11 update will be coming to Poco X2. The timing is something we are still, working with Google on this particular thing. There are multiple steps involved on that, right? First of all, they have to share the code base, and then we have to put our layer on top of it. So it might take a little bit amount of time, but it's definitely coming to Poco X2 for sure.
Okay. Next question is from Givar. First, he has a crib saying, I've been asking questions since the second episode and you guys never pick my question. Okay. To be very honest, every week there are hundreds and hundreds of questions.
True.
If we start answering everything, unfortunately, this is all we'll do the entire week. What we try and do is pick some of the questions, pick some of the themes. So, sometimes you might not get your question in, but don't lose heart. And hopefully soon enough, once our community efforts also come up, then obviously you can have your questions answered through a lot more people.
Sure.
So the question was, sometimes my Poco X3 is heating up,
Okay.
and the camera app shuts down after showing that message. And he's also seen lag in the camera app sometimes. So is there a bug there?
This is very surprising to me. Actually, I have not come across any of these problems from a lot of people whom I know who are using Poco X3, and including me, I have not faced these kind of issues. Very surprising that this kind of issue you're facing. So first of all, we do not like to kind of give this kind of an experience. That's the last thing that we ever want to do with any of our product. Let alone be Poco X3, right? So we will definitely reach out to you soon to understand what kind of circumstances under which you're facing these issues.
Yeah.
We will definitely resolve it without fail.
I mean, last week I had my Poco X3 on a stand, watching this small plant grow from about 6 in the morning till about 8 in the evening at 4K 30 time lapse. And you can change the time lapse settings, right? So I had taken it to that plant setting, 1800x.
Okay.
And it ran the entire day. So right, so there's two things to it. One, it did not overheat. It is shooting a plant, so obviously there's sunlight and the other lights coming in.
And you're shooting on 4K,
And
30
I'm
FPS.
shooting at 4K resolution, and it's running the entire day. So it did not heat up, and also the battery was great.
Yeah.
So definitely get it checked out. There might be something else that's interfering, or if there's something that's gone wrong with the software build, take a backup, and obviously let's try and flash that again. Okay, moving next to Ajit. Okay, this is a interesting one. Google dialer call recording is useless as it tells aloud that the call is getting recorded, and both parties can hear that. What's the point of recording when other person whom we are recording knows he's getting recorded? Yeah, so thoughts on this, Mancho?
Okay, firstly, Poco is not Q in James Bond. We are not Q. We are actually, I mean, any feature that we are doing, right? At the end of the day, if you are call recording, I think it's basic etiquette that we essentially tell to the opposite end user that we are actually call recording. I do not know the legalities behind call recording, just like Anuj, you also mentioned a lot of times that we do not know the legalities around it. But come on, yeah, like if at all call recording, if you are doing, I think it's only right to essentially let the other person on the line know that you're actually call recording. That's only fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you are recording shadily, that's not probably a good thing, right? Anytime you are hiding something, that means you're doing something wrong. So yeah, but okay, the second point from a technical feasibility perspective, now Google is bringing this facility into, or this feature into the dialer. Google is doing this for compliance across the world. There are a lot of countries which expect you to announce that this call is being recorded, and hence the dialer does that.
Yeah.
And looking at the European Union or the American standards and all that, I'm expecting those standards will soon follow in India as well.
In fact, even in Zoom calls, right? Anytime you are recording a Zoom call, it kind of clearly highlights that yes, there is that this call is getting recorded.
I mean,
to every participant.
Yeah, actually, any of these video call apps,
right?
They definitely call that out. Okay. So yeah, I mean, one, technically it is Google's decision. Second is, from a legal perspective, it's a very gray area.
True.
And we would rather like to stay on the white side.
White side. Yep.
Okay. Hi Anuj and Mancho. I am Akshay. Hi Akshay.
Hi.
My question is, what's the difference between a normal photo and a raw photo?
Oh, okay. So to be honest, I am not a very good photographer. To be honest, I am a very noob photographer. But Anuj here actually takes amazing pictures, and I actually learned a lot of things from Anuj here. So what I understand from normal versus raw is primarily got to do with the amount of information your photo captures, so that you know when you want to do post processing, let it be you take it to a Lightroom or something like that, and then kind of want to add more and more effects. This captures the essence of various data points and gives you a better output. So that's exactly the difference between a normal and a raw photo. So raw photo is primarily being used by a lot of creative folks who do a job. I mean, the job of a photo does not end at just taking the picture. It also happens a lot after a photo is taken, and then there is a lot of post-processing that's done. So that's what the primary difference between a normal photo and a raw photo is.
Right.
Anything to add, Anuj?
I mean, a normal photo is what you get is JPEG.
Correct.
So the main difference is the compression, and with a raw photo you have a lot more information, so you can tune the image to your liking after you've shot. In most cases, your camera AI, your smartphone camera AI is optimized so that when it's doing the JPEG compression, it'll give you all the things that people normally like, right? So in terms of brightness, in terms of colors and things like that. But when you're taking a professional shot, a RAW will always make more sense because you have a lot more control after the shot has been taken. Okay. A particular brand, this is a question from Kaushik, a particular brand is giving 1,000 rupees off on mobiles.
Okay.
And 5% off on for all students.
Okay.
Can you give me any mobile for online Zoom classes, sir, please?
Okay.
So I'm assuming he's
Pretty much
asking for like a discount for students.
True. Understood. So let me, explain our ethos of working as Poco. And this comes from the entire ecosystem that we as a company work, right? At the end of the day, the way we make any smartphone, right, we always ensure that we are giving the right value for the customer whenever he is coming and to purchase the product, right? At that point in time, we are already giving the best value for money. Now, on top of that, I would not like to comment about whether a particular brand is doing a 5% discount, or for that matter 1,000 rupees discount or so. But usually the reason why they are able to do discounts is because they can afford it by having higher inflated margins when they are able to give.
Right.
So that's the background behind it, and hence you will not be seeing there is 1,000 rupees discount always for kind of students or for teachers or for that matter any kind of profession, just always available.
Or actually even our employees. So
True.
If we are buying a Poco phone, we are buying it at the same price as you
You
are.
guys are doing that.
So it's no different there. Okay. I don't have the name here.
Mm-hmm.
You can just put the name later. Sir, is your mother tongue Telugu?
Oh, yeah, it is Telugu.
If yes, can you speak one sentence in Telugu? I think he wants you to prove it.
My mother tongue is Telugu.
But say something, I guess.
ఎలా ఉన్నారు బాగున్నారా మీ పేరు ఉండుంటే బాగుండేది. That's it.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not censored. Move on.
Yeah.
Next question is from Devang. A big fan of yours. I have owned Poco X3. I love it. Best budget phone. But I'm not getting cases for it. So can you please do something for that?
Cases? Why do you need cases?
The back cases.
Okay, the reason why we thought that there is no need of a case is because you already have good enough protection for across all, right? You have a Corning Gorilla Glass 5 in the front, and on the back you have a new material called IMT, which is not fragile, right? Just like the others. So that was the reason. But in case you want cases, I think there are third party folks who are actually kind of selling cases for Poco X3, but we in our
it's actually a very comfortable hold without the cases. But let's see. I mean, if you definitely want cases, I mean, right now we are not putting cases out, and we are not making our own cases. But we can definitely look at the third party guys and have that.
True.
Okay. Next one is from Simon.
Okay.
Hello sir, I came to know that you are a Telugu guy. Which city do you belong to?
What is the thing with Telugu? I was born in in a town called Nandigama, which is next to Vijayawada.
Okay. He's got a couple of multiple choice questions for you.
Okay.
144 Hz LCD versus a 120 Hz AMOLED.
Okay.
Both are good quality screens. Which one would you choose?
Okay.
Next one is 120 Hz LCD versus 90 Hz AMOLED. Both are good quality. Again, refresh rate being different.
Okay.
These two are technical questions, and then there's another funny one after this.
Okay. Now 144 Hz LCD versus 120 Hz AMOLED. Both cannot be at the same price, by the way. It cannot be at the same price. If both are going to be high quality.
Let's assume that they are the same price and good quality screens. I mean, quality obviously is not 1, 2, 3 types, but
sure. So first of all, there is always going to be grades on AMOLED screens and LCD screens. I'm assuming for now, just for the sake of simplicity, that they are the same kind of degree of quality and 144 hertz versus 120 hertz AMOLED, I would probably pick 120 hertz AMOLED in this particular case. The second one, which is also something similar, 120 hertz LCD versus 90 hertz AMOLED, here I would rather pick 120 hertz LCD. That's how I would make the distinction. I think that there is a significant difference between 60 to 120 hertz, and if you are constantly using your smartphone, you will also be able to identify the difference between 90 hertz and 120 hertz. 120 hertz and 144 hertz, maybe not so much. That's my opinion.
Probably. I mean, my answer to that is I always will take a look at it, if I can, side by side, and then choose.
Yeah.
Sometimes just looking at what spec sounds good to you might not really translate into what you like.
True. That's so true.
Okay. One more question from Sai. Which hero is your favorite in Telugu movies?
Oh man. So I actually lived in Neyveli for 6 years, so I know a bit of Tamil as well. So my favorite hero is Rajnikant in Tamil, my favorite.
But he's saying Telugu movies.
In Telugu movies, it's currently Allu Arjun.
Okay. The next question, and probably we'll take a break after this one. We've answered quite a lot. Is from Rajiv Rana. You guys know him as Gogi Tech. I mean, he's been around for a long time.
Yes.
I remember back in 2012, 2013 also, I was asking him a lot of things in terms of what do people like and all that. I was actually new in the smartphone side, and he kind of obviously had a pretty good thing on it. So he's got a couple of questions, and he sent in a video clip. So maybe let's play that clip first.
Hello Mr. Manmohan, I hope you are doing great, and first of all, best of luck for your future. And since you have been associated with Poco for a very long time, I have two questions for you. The first question is the magic that the Poco F1 created. How difficult, according to you, it is to recreate the same today? And the second question is the one thing that separates Poco from Xiaomi. Do let me know. Thank you.
First of all, it's always wonderful talking to Rajiv. I mean, he always comes up with very simple things. I mean, everything is obvious for him. ये तो obvious है. That's how he kind of answers everything. So thank you so much for those questions. To begin with, the first one, how difficult is it to recreate the magic of Poco F1? Sir, it is extremely difficult. If it were easy, I mean, I'm sure. If not, I mean, till now we would have created another Poco F series phone, right? It is extremely difficult to create the same kind of bang just as much as Poco F1 is. So yeah, that's number one. Number two, what is it that separates Poco from Xiaomi? That one thing. I think the philosophy that we stand for: everything you need and nothing you don't. What we are currently focused on from a Poco point is that we'll just do one thing, but do that one thing so very well that it kind of trumps the others. That's pretty much the idea. So let's see. I mean, till now, with all the respect from the fans and folks like you who are constantly giving us feedback, we'll continue to grow further.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
So I think we've answered quite a lot of questions. I know there are more questions. We'll probably take it the next time in the next section.
Next section. Bye.
Thanks.